Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're going deep on something I know a lot of you are really interested in how to learn Python and learn it fast.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, we all wish we could just snap our fingers and download new skills, right?
Right.
This deep dive is brought to you by Afterwork, by the way. They're awesome for anyone who wants to boost their data skills.
Right.
But okay, back to Python. It's this super powerful language, in demand everywhere,
Yeah.
but it can seem kind of daunting, to learn it really quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do we actually do that? How do we crack the code, so to speak?
I think it all starts with a good plan. Like, if you were going on a road trip, you wouldn't just, hit the gas and go right. You'd
Yeah,
need a map.
totally. You need to know where you're starting from and where you're heading.
Exactly. And just like a road trip, there are lots of different ways to reach your Python destination.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So let's map out our Python journey, shall we? Where do we even begin?
Well, I'd say the most important thing is to start with the core fundamentals. Like, those are the building blocks of the language.
Okay, so that's things like variables, data types, loops, functions,
Yeah.
the basic stuff.
Exactly. Those are the foundations that you'll use to build more complex stuff later on.
Gotcha. So once we've got those down, what's next?
Well, then it's time to start actually using what you've learned by building projects.
Mm.
Don't worry, I'm not talking about creating the next Facebook or anything like that.
Right.
Start small, like a simple calculator, a to-do list app,
Yeah.
maybe a basic game.
I love that idea of learning by doing.
Yeah.
It's way more engaging than just reading a textbook, right?
Exactly. And as you build these projects, you'll run into real-world challenges that'll help you think critically and solve problems.
So it's like learning to swim by jumping into the pool.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
You can't just read about it. You got to get in there.
Exactly.
Now, this brings me to another important point. I think community is really, really crucial when you're learning something new.
Oh, absolutely. Having people to connect with can make a huge difference.
It's like having a hiking buddy, someone to keep you company and support you when the trail gets tough.
Exactly. And the Python community is incredibly diverse and welcoming. You've got online forums, Discord servers, local meetups. There's something for everyone.
Okay, so we've got our roadmap. Mastering the fundamentals, building projects, and finding our tribe. Right.
Yeah, I think that's a great start.
But that's a lot to remember. Is there a way we can sort of distill these concepts into something easy to remember, like a mnemonic or something?
I love a good mnemonic.
Me too. How about roadmap?
Roadmap. Yeah, I like that. What would each letter stand for?
Okay, so R for remember the fundamentals.
Oh, I like that. Okay, and O could be for outline your goals.
Perfect. A for apply your knowledge by building projects.
Okay, and D could be dive into the community for support.
Love it. M for master the art of problem solving through practice.
Great one. A4. How about adapt your learning style? Find what works best for you.
Yeah, totally. And P for persist. Don't give up even when things get tough.
Perfect. Roadmap. A nice little acronym to guide us on our Python adventure. Now, how about we bring this all to life with a real-world example? Show how these principles work in practice.
Great idea. Let me tell you about Alex. Alex was determined to learn Python fast so he could change careers and get into the world of data analytics.
Oh, wow. A total career shift.
Yeah. And guess what? He did it in just 3 months.
3 months. That's incredible. How do you manage that?
Well, just like we were talking about, Alex had a really strategic approach. He started by building a solid foundation.
So mastering the fundamentals first.
Exactly. He set aside time every day to make sure he really understood the basics. And then he moved on to building small projects.
So he was putting his knowledge into practice right away.
Yep. He started with a simple calculator app, and then he tackled a program that pulled data from a weather API.
Smart. Those kinds of projects not only help you learn, but they also give you something to show off.
Right. And get this, Alex also joined a Discord community for Python learners. That way he could connect with other people, ask questions, and share his progress.
There's that community aspect again. It really makes a difference.
For sure. And there's something else that Alex did that I thought was super smart. He actually found ways to use Python in his everyday life.
Oh, that's interesting. How did he do that?
Well, he started automating some of his daily tasks, like organizing files on his computer and sending custom emails to his friends.
Wow, that's clever. It makes learning so much more engaging when you can apply it to your own life.
Totally. And by the end of those 3 months, he'd built up a portfolio of projects, he had a solid grasp of Python, and maybe most importantly, he had this newfound confidence in his abilities.
That's so inspiring. Alex's story really shows that our roadmap strategy works.
It really does. It shows that with the right plan, consistent effort, and a willingness to learn, Anyone can master Python in a short amount of time.
Absolutely. So what else did Alex do to learn so quickly? What other secrets did he have up his sleeve? I'm dying to know.
Well, one of the things that really impressed me about Alex was just how resourceful he was. He didn't just like stick to one textbook or online course.
Oh, so he was really out there exploring all the options.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was kind of like a knowledge detective, constantly searching for the best tools and resources that fit, how he learned best.
Right, because we all learn differently, right? What works for one person might not work for someone else.
Totally. It's like finding the right pair of shoes.
Yeah.
You got to try on a few different styles before you find the ones that fit perfectly.
Love the analogy. So tell me more about Alex's little detective work there. What kind of resources did he find?
Well, for starters, he really tapped into the power of online learning platforms.
Yeah, those can be game changers, especially if you're busy and need some flexibility.
Exactly. And there are so many out there. Alex tried interactive platforms like Codecademy, and then he also checked out those more in-depth courses on Coursera and Udemy.
That's a really smart approach. You can kind of sample different learning styles that way and see what clicks for you.
Yeah, and it's not just about the platform itself. It's also about being picky with the courses and the teachers, right?
Oh, absolutely. Look for instructors who, have a clear way of teaching, real-world experience, and good reviews from other students.
It's like finding a great tour guide for your Python adventure.
Exactly. Someone who can not only show you the sites, but also explain what's behind them, the history and all that.
Now, speaking of guys, another resource that Alex found super helpful was project-based tutorials.
Ah, yeah. I'm a big fan of those. It's a structured way to actually apply what you're learning and build real skills.
It's like having like a master craftsman showing you step by step how to build something beautiful.
Yeah, and you're not just memorizing the steps, you're actually understanding the how and the why behind it.
Right, exactly. Alex found these tutorials on a bunch of different platforms: YouTube, RealPython, FreeCodeCamp.
Those are all great places to start, and the best part is they usually focus on building stuff that's both fun and useful.
Yeah, like creating a simple game or a web scraper or even like a basic data analysis tool.
Exactly, and that feeling you get when you actually build something, that sense of accomplishment, it's super motivating.
Totally. Now, while online courses and tutorials are great for the foundation, I think it's also really important to see some real-world code in action.
Oh, for sure, 100%. That's where platforms like GitHub come in.
Yeah, GitHub is like this incredible library of open source projects.
It's where developers from all over the world can share their work, collaborate and learn from each other.
Right. So Alex spent a lot of time browsing GitHub repositories, kind of studying how experienced developers solved problems and structured their code.
It's like getting a behind-the-scenes look at how the pros do it.
Exactly. And by being exposed to real-world code, Alex was able to pick up best practices, the standard ways of doing things, and he even learned about new libraries and frameworks that he hadn't seen before.
It's like learning a language by listening to native speakers.
Yes. And speaking of libraries and frameworks, this is something that Alex really excelled at.
So he went beyond just the basic stuff and started exploring those specialized tools.
Oh yeah, big time. He realized that if he used the right libraries, it would speed up his learning and let him build even more complex and interesting projects.
It's like having the right tool for the job, right?
Exactly. He quickly got the hang of libraries like NumPy, which is great for number crunching, Pandas for handling data, and Matplotlib for making those cool visualizations.
Those are like the big three in the world of data science. Knowing how to use them is a huge advantage.
And Alex didn't just read about these libraries. He got his hands dirty and actually experimented with them.
So he was really putting those tools to work.
Yeah, he used Jupyter Notebooks to create these interactive coding environments where he could try out different things, visualize data, and just play around and see what happened.
Jupyter Notebooks are awesome for that kind of exploration and experimenting.
Yeah, they're like a digital playground for coders.
Love that. So we've got Alex with his roadmap. He's diving into online courses and tutorials. He's immersed himself in real-world code on GitHub, and he's experimenting with all these powerful Python libraries.
He was unstoppable. But even with all that, I think one of the biggest secrets to Alex's success was his mindset.
His mindset. That's interesting. Tell me more.
Well, I remember him saying that he approached learning Python with a growth mindset.
Ah, so he believed that he could actually get better with effort and practice.
Yeah, he didn't see challenges as like roadblocks, but as opportunities to learn and grow. He wasn't afraid of those I don't know, moments. He saw them as like stepping stones to a deeper understanding.
Right. So many people get discouraged when they hit those bumps in the road, but a growth mindset helps you see them as learning experiences,
Uh,
chances to get better.
exactly. And Alex was also really good at staying motivated even when things got tough.
Yeah. How did he do that? Learning a new skill can be a long process. It's not always easy to stay on track.
I think for him, it was all about setting realistic goals and celebrating those little victories along the way.
That's so important. It's easy to get overwhelmed if you're just focused on the end goal, but if you break things down into smaller steps, it feels way more manageable.
Right. And Alex, he really celebrated every new concept he mastered, every little project he finished. It was like a mini victory.
Yeah, those celebrations, even the small ones, they give you a boost and help you see how far you've come.
It's like giving yourself a high five every mile you run in a marathon, keeps you going when you start to get tired.
Exactly. And it's not just about those external rewards either. It's about that inner drive, that genuine passion that keeps you moving forward, even when no one's watching.
And Alex had that in spades. He was genuinely fascinated by Python and all the things he could do with it.
That's the best kind of fuel. That genuine excitement, it turns learning into an adventure.
Right. And as Alice's skills grew, so did his confidence. He started to see himself not just as someone learning, but as a creator. Someone who could actually build things with code.
That's a powerful shift, isn't it? Going from just absorbing information to actually creating something tangible.
It is. And that's ultimately what helped Alex land his first data analytics internship. He had the skills, the confidence, and a portfolio of projects to show what he could do.
Alex's story is a great example of how powerful it can be to combine the right strategy with the right mindset and that love of learning.
I totally agree. And it perfectly illustrates how our roadmap strategy can help anyone master Python, even if they're starting from scratch.
So let's quickly recap that roadmap one more time, shall we? It's like our compass for navigating the world of Python.
Right. Remember the fundamentals, outline your goals, apply your knowledge by building projects, dive into the community for support and inspiration, master the art of problem solving through practice, adapt your learning style to what works best for you, and of course, persist. Don't give up even when things get tough.
Words to live by. Really not just for learning Python, but for anything you set your mind to.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a question. If Alex, starting from zero, could achieve so much in just 3 months, what could you accomplish? What amazing Python adventures are out there waiting for you?
That's a great question to think about. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. The Python community is incredibly supportive and full of people who are excited to help you learn.
If you're ready to start your own Python journey, Afterwork is a fantastic resource that can help you take those first steps. And who knows, maybe someday you'll be sharing your own success story, inspiring others to dive into this incredible world of coding.
Until then, keep coding, keep learning, and keep pushing those boundaries.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of Python. Happy coding, everyone.